Good morning, children. Today I am going to teach you compound in the chapter Structure of Matter. At first, we need to know its definition. What is compound? Students, listen. A substance formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements in fixed proportion is called compound. For example, formation of water molecule. When hydrogen reacts with oxygen, they form water molecule. Next example, formation of carbon dioxide. When carbon reacts with oxygen, they form carbon dioxide along with heat. Formation of magnesium oxide. When magnesium reacts with oxygen, they form magnesium oxide. In these three examples, as we know, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, magnesium are elements. Whatever we get by joining them are called compound. So here water, carbon dioxide and magnesium oxide are compounds. Now, if we talk about fixed proportion according to the definition of the compound, see in the first example, when two molecules of hydrogen react with one molecule of oxygen, they form two molecules of water. So, this proportion can never be changed. Students, listen to me. If you try to change the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen, you will not get the water molecule. Similarly, we get in the formation of carbon dioxide and magnesium oxide and so on. Dear students, the formation of water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen combined in the ratio 2:1 by volume. It will never change. Students, we will discuss now atoms. So, what is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction. It may or may not exist independently. Example, oxygen, hydrogen, helium, etc. Now come to the topic molecule. What is a molecule? A molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound that can normally exist independently. For example, molecule of hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, etc. The definition of molecule we can give in another way also. So, see, when two or more atoms combine together, they form a molecule. Dear students, if you are thinking about the definition of atom and molecule, they look little similar. So, I want to make it clear by giving the differences between them. See here. What is exactly atom? Atom, the smallest particle of an element, and in case of molecule also, the smallest particle of an element. This sentence is similar in both. But come to the next point. Atom may or may not exist independently. Means here कि some of the atom exist independently, or some atoms they can't exist independently in nature. For example, those who exist independently in nature, they are helium, neon, xenon, argon, krypton. These all are the gases, and these all gases are known as inert gas as well as noble gas also. And the other gases, they can't exist independently in nature. But in case of molecule always exists independently. Example of hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, phosphorus, etc. Now, the next topic is properties of compounds. So, first properties of compound is, say, a compound can be broken down into its constituent elements by chemical methods. For example, water can be broken down into the elements hydrogen and oxygen by passing electricity through water. This process is said to be electrolysis. See here, water formula I have given here arrow, and above the arrow I have written electricity, means we are passing electricity through water. Now it is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. Now next property of the compound. A compound always contains the same elements combine together chemically in a fixed ratio. So take the example for this property. For example, I have taken here, as I discussed earlier, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in water is 2:1 by volume. It will never change. Similarly, the formula of sugar is C12H22O11. In sugar, ratio of carbon, see here, ratio of carbon is 12, hydrogen is 22, O11. So in sugar, ratio of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is 12:22:11, which will remain constant. It will never change. Now the third properties of a compound. The properties of a compound are different from those of its constituent element. For example, the properties of water is a liquid, are different from its constituent elements, that is hydrogen is gas, oxygen is also gas. So see here, hydrogen and oxygen both reacted to each other, form what? Water molecule. So see, dear students, in this formation, all three have different properties. Hydrogen burns, oxygen supports burning, but water has property to put off fire. So these all have the different properties. Now the topic is over. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.